Okay, guys, we are live for SQL Saturday. Thank you guys for joining us. We're going to be getting started in a few, just giving people some time to go ahead and join. And yeah, so just a couple of minutes.
Hey everyone, welcome.
I want to know, do we have any first timers, or is everyone coming back for another SQL Saturdays? Have y'all joined us before? Um, any newcomers today? Y'all can drop it in the chat. Y'all can also, rep where you're tuning in from as well, so we can just get to know y'all a little better. Okay, so we got a few first timers. Thank y'all for joining us today. Guys, oh wow, we have a lot of first timers today. That's awesome. That's awesome. How did you guys find us? I'm curious. Are y'all from Discord? Are we from Twitter? Um, I'm wondering how we got so many first timers today.
Yeah, this is so great. This is like my first time seeing so many people.
Right, I'm like,
Their first time, but that's cool. Awesome.
You guys are from the Discord or you guys are from Twitter? You guys saw our post on Twitter or YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. I see a lot of Twitter. Discord, awesome. If you guys haven't already, please join our Discord. You guys will find a whole bunch of resources in there. We post all of our announcements on there for any other further events that are going to occur. So if any of the moderators can just drop that link in there, that'd be awesome. All right, y'all. It is 1:35, so we are about to start now. So, if Evelyn, can you just click for our next slide so we can begin? Awesome. So, welcome everybody. This week we have myself. I am on the Discord. I am a health information specialist. I'm studying health informatics and to become a health data analyst. Then we have Queen, who is a business analyst. Shout out to Queen. And our two instructors today, we have Evelyn, who works as a customer success consultant and holds a master's in information technology. She has experience in using SQL, Excel, and Tableau for analysis and visualization. And then we have Snow, who we've seen a couple times before. She is a data enthusiast, currently pivoting into data engineering from the healthcare industry. She is passionate about constructing systems that help organizations achieve optimal performance and drive business. I can't see anything right now. Business solutions. There you go. Awesome, awesome. So shout out to this week's team. They are amazing. You can find us on the Discord. All right, so we're gonna soon post any links that we may have so that you guys can work along with us in SQL. Give me one moment. We're gonna have one of our moderators drop the SQL link into our YouTube channel so you guys can just have that there. Yep, let me pin that. May not have access to pins. All right, so we just posted a SQLite one right there. So that's going to be the database that we're going to be using, Postgres specifically. All right, can we just go to the download the Northwind link? Can someone just copy and paste that there? Thank you. All right, so the link that Ugochi just dropped in the YouTube channel and Queen has just dropped in the YouTube channel, that's actually the data that we'll be using. So we're going to do a quick overview of how to actually enter that into Postgres onto the other link that was previously added to the YouTube. So we're going to just pass over the platform, the mic over to Evelyn. She's going to walk you guys through that, okay? Awesome, awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, Lexi. So we're going to set up the database that we'll be using. We'll go to SQLite Online. And can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. So this is the platform that we'll use, SQLite. And you're going to choose, let me just, PostgreSQL as our database. And then we're going to download the SQL file from Northwind. So this is how it is. You just click on this link. So you'll click on row and copy the file. Oh, sorry. So you're going to copy the file onto our platform and you'll run it. So you'll end up with something like this with these tables. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to set up. All right, I think we can start. So this session will talk about, I'll be taking you through data manipulation statements, that is adding new records to a table, updating records or deleting records. So we're going to start with adding new records. So we'll use the insert into to add new records to a table, and there are two syntax. So you can use insert into the table name and the values that you want to add into your table, or you can do insert into table name and you specify the columns that you want to add your info into the table and the values. So we're going to use our employees database, our employees table. So if you can right click on employees and show table. Sorry. We need to connect. Okay. Let me just copy that again. Run. Awesome. So if you click on your employees and you can click on select. So these are the values that the employees table has. It has 9 rows and we want to add a new record. So I'll go to the next slide. So let's assume that this is a hiring season and we've hired 2 new employees to the Northwind and we need to add their records to the database. So we have Miss Alicia Johnson and Mr. John David. We need to add them to our employees table. So this is how we'll do it. We'll do insert into your table name, that's employees. So we want to use, we'll use this syntax, insert into your table name as employees, and then your values. So these are our values. So we can see our employees table has the employee ID, the last name, the first name, the title.
Hey Ev, before you continue, do you mind just zooming into the left screen? The code, just making just maximizing that screen.
Yeah, sure, I can do that. Is that better?
A little bit more, please. Yeah, better. Thank you.
Is that good?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. So we have, let's see, we have the employee ID, we have the last name, first name, title, title of courtesy, birth dates, hire dates, address, city. We have region, postal codes, and then we have country, home phone. We have a couple of columns. So this is how we'll do it. We'll insert into employees. This is your table and your values. So we need to add Miss Alicia Johnson into our employees database. So this is how we'll do it. Insert into employees values. So she will be, oops, sorry. All right, let me run this again. She'll be our employee number 10. So ID 10. And then the last name is Johnson. Johnson. Alicia. She's Miss. She's a senior sales representative. She was born in 1973. Then we'll add her hire date, 2022, 0301. Her address, Tacoma, Washington. So I'm following this, the city, the region, the postal code, the country. All right, let's keep adding the records. So US, that's the country. And then her phone number, 202 56. And then 254 as the code. And then this null is the photo. Since we don't have a photo, we'll have it as null. And we'll just assume we also don't have notes on about her. So we'll put that as null. And then she reports to the employee whose ID is 2. And since we also don't have a photo path, we'll have that as null. All right, so we inserted one employee, Alicia. So we'll run this. Uh-oh.
I believe there was a gap on the one of the last nulls between the commas, and that may be it.
There we go. Thank you. So let's run it again. Senior sales.
I think title of courtesy comes after the job title in the table.
Sorry?
The title of courtesy, like the miss, I think that comes after her job title in the
After
table.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's, all right. Okay, let's run it again. Yes, there we go.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem.
And if we run this again, we'll see now we have employee number 10 as Alicia Johnson. All right, we can go and add the next. I'll give you guys a couple of seconds to add John David to the table. Inside employees, values. So we'll do the same thing as we did for Alicia. Eleven. John. Is the director of sales. Mr. So then we'll put the birth date and the hire dates. And his address. 55 Long Drive. Sorry. London. JP. Wait, close that. And since we don't have the photos and the notes, we're just going to have that as null. All right. Let's run this and see if we have John David in our employees table. So if you run this again, we'll see that he's in there, his number, his employee 11. Any questions? So oftentimes when you're working as an analyst, you'll have to add records to databases, to your databases, and this is how you go about it. So you can insert into, this is your table, and the values, all the values that you need into your table. All right, we'll go on. So the next, we're going to update a few records in our tables. So we use update statement to modify data into a table. And this is the syntax. So update table, this is your table name, set column name equals new value, and then your where condition. So you specify the name of the table, and then the set statement specifies the column and the new value that you want. And then the where condition is optional. The where condition can be optional. So if you omit the where condition, all the rows in your table will be updated. So take, for example, you have an employees database, an employees table, and each employee comes from a different city. And if you update one employee's city to, let's say, from London to New York, and you omit the where condition, all the employees in your table will have their city as New York. So let's see an exercise on that.
Quick question before you move
Yep.
on to the next exercise. Liz had asked, she wants to confirm there's no spaces can be between the text. If you see her comment
Um,
based on for the
between
last one.
between John and director, does she mean that?
I'm gonna give her a moment to just comment what exactly
I think that is what
she means.
she means.
If that's what she means, I don't think you can omit the space. You can omit the space, or you can have a space. It doesn't matter.
Awesome. All right, we can move on to the next exercise.
Awesome. So we've talked about updating records and to modify the data in the table, and this is your syntax. So we're going to go ahead and try this exercise. So Margaret has been promoted from sales representative to a sales manager. So we're going to run our employees table again and see Margaret. She's a sales rep and she's been promoted to sales manager. So we need to update her title. So, all right, let's move on. All right, so this is how we'll do it. We'll have updates, your update statement, in your table name, update employees, and then you set statement. Then you specify the column that you want your new value. So our column is title. So we're setting the title and the new value that you want. So your new value is sales manager. So you're setting your title as sales manager. And you have to use your where condition because we're only updating for one employee. If you wanted to update everyone in the table, you will omit your where condition. So where, so we see Margaret, her employee ID is 4. So we're going to have where employee ID equals 4. All right, let's run this. And if we run our table again, we can see that Margaret, the title is sales manager. So we have updated her title. Any questions before I go on? Alrighty. Okay, so our next exercise is Alicia is relocating to the London office and reports to John David. So this one we are updating 2 columns. So we'll do update your table, employees. You're going to set, so she's relocating to the London office. So let's see, London, the city. So you're setting the city as London. And she's also reporting to John David. So we're also going to do this. So reports to, so we can see these ones are just employee IDs. So we have to check John David's employee ID. So his ID 11. So we're going to have set reports to 11. And don't forget your where condition because you're only updating one record. Where we need Alicia's ID. Where employee ID equals, she's employee ID 10. Okay, let's run this and see. Oops. Okay. This was a number, not a string. Okay. Sorry, we needed a comma. Let's run it again. Okay, so let's run our employees table one more time. And we can see that Alicia, we can see the city has been updated to London. And she reports to John David. So previously, Alicia was, let's say, she was in Tacoma. She was living in Tacoma and she was reporting to employee ID 2, who is Andrew. But now we can see after updating, she's in London and she's reporting to John David. Any questions before I go on?
Yes, quick question. We have for from someone on YouTube. They asked why did it move to the bottom if she's still employee 4? I'm guessing when you ran it, it may have changed the position of the display position of where Alicia was currently. So is there a way that you can order the IDs where you can see that she's still number 4?
Good question. I'm not sure about that.
I think Alicia is still
Uh,
employee number
she's
10. I don't think she's 4, if I'm looking at this correct.
she's still ID 10, but I don't know. I think every time you update someone,
It
every
moves.
time you update a row,
Mm-hmm.
it goes to the next line. So, for example, if we're updating employee number 6, they'd be updated, they'd appear here
Yep,
under row
and
number 10.
yeah, and you guys can always sort it too. You can always sort the tables so
Mm-hmm.
that it can be displayed a certain way. All right. I think we can move on. Awesome.
Cool. All right. So, our next one, we're going to delete. So, you delete existing records from a database, and this is your syntax. So, you delete from, you have to specify your table name and the where condition, just as updating. The where condition is optional. If if you don't add your where condition, everything is deleted from the table or the records. So we're going to try, all right. So we're going to do this small exercise. So we've noticed that Michael no longer works for the company and we don't want to have him on our database. So this is how you do it. You delete from, and then your table name, employees, where your Michael, you have to, Michael Suyama, his ID number 6, where employee ID equals 6. If you run this, all right. Update or delete violates foreign key on orders. Okay, so we cannot delete because the employee ID is a foreign key in another table. Okay, so I can show you this. We can create a temporary table. Select select all into your temporary table. Let's say emp temp from employees. So we're going to create a temporary table so that we can be able to delete records. So we can run these, and if you select all from, let's say we have mtemp. So this is our temporary table. It has all the records that we had from the employee table. Then we can go ahead and try to delete from this temporary table. Delete from emp temp ID equals 6. Let's see if this will work. Column ID does not, okay. Employee ID equals 6. And if we run our table again, select all from emp temp. If we run this again, we'll see that ID number 6 no longer exists because we've deleted it from our database. Any questions? All right, if there are no questions, we can go ahead and we can use our temporary table to update records without having the where condition. So we can update, let's update the locations from, let's say, London to Tacoma. So update your table name, temp, set your column, set city equals, let's say you wanted to update Nancy. You wanted to update her city from Seattle to Tacoma, and to Tacoma, and you omitted the where clause. So this statement will update all the regions, all the cities to Tacoma. So we can run this and then we'll see. So if I run my table again, so we can see that we'll see that all the cities, all the cities have been updated to Tacoma. So when you omit your where condition, all the records are updated to that new value that you updated.
I think we have a question here from YouTube. Someone asks, does the delete affect the row ID? Does the delete statement, does it affect the row ID?
Yes.
Awesome. Queen also had responded. All right.
And then we can also try to delete without having the where condition. Delete from temp. So if we run this without having the where condition, it will delete everything from the employee table temp. If you omit the where condition, everything gets deleted, all your records. So, and if you run the table again, you see nothing appears because you've deleted all the records from your table. Any questions?
Just give them a few moments because there's a little lag. Okay, so far so good. You can continue.
All right, and that's me. So we've talked about database manipulation statements, that's insert new records into a table, update or delete existing records.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, Evelyn, for your presentations, for instructing us on the select and delete and all those other statements. All right, so we're going to have Snow present. She's actually doing something fun today, as well as we had last week, a little activity for us. All right, so I'm going to pass over the mic to her. She's going to share her screen if she needs to. Just give us one moment.
Okay, let me stop sharing my screen.
Okay, can everyone see my screen? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yep. We're good.
Okay.
We can see your screen.
Oh, can y'all can see my screen? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to be playing a little Kahoot game. Um, so you can join this one or two ways. You can go ahead and join on your browser, or if you have the app, you can just type in this game pin or scan the QR code, whichever one you like. And then as you guys all start to join, we're gonna go ahead and get started. So this Kahoot quiz is basically testing how well you are doing some SQL queries. It's pretty basic queries. We're doing a lot of select from, where statements, group by. There'll be some joins in there, all inner joins, nothing too complicated, and then some count and average functions in there. So for some of the questions, you may have a little bit more time than others um, to answer. And I'm just waiting for people to join the game, and then we can get started.
All right, we can have about at least four other people join and then we can begin.
Yeah, so I'm probably gonna give guys another minute to join. If you guys are still trying to join and you're having a little trouble, just drop it in the YouTube chat so we can wait on you. But I'll probably get started in the next 60 seconds so we can go ahead and wrap up our SQL Saturdays. And it's totally cool if you don't want to do the quiz. I mean, we'll be following along, of course, in my browser here. So if you don't want to participate, you don't have to. You can just follow along. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Oh, one person just made it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Sorry, I hope there's no one else that wants to participate. All right, guys. So as I said, we're basically we'll be answering a few questions that require you to query the Northwind database. We'll primarily just be working with two tables. That's the products table and the category table. There's going to be both true, false, and multiple choice questions on there. And as I said earlier, we're basically doing it's just going to be some select from where, group by, sorting, some count functions, and then a little bit of joins as well. So before we get started, I just kind of want to look through the two tables that we'll be using. So I am going to, let me just make it full screen. Okay, so the main, as you see in the products table, we have the product ID, product name, supplier ID, category ID, quantity, unit price, units in stocks, units on order, reorder level, and continued. I'm going to tell you guys right now, the only columns we'll really be worried about are these four. So the product ID, the product name, the category ID, unit price, and whether or not it's discontinued. Yeah, so that's from the products table. And then the categories table, just two columns that we'll be working with. Just the ID and the name. So before I go ahead and start, are there any questions before I begin, or is everyone ready? Drop some ones in the chat if y'all are ready to start this quiz. Oh, hold on. Let me fix, I can't see. Okay, I see someone, so I'm gonna assume everyone's ready. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. So the first question is asking you to find the name and the price of the single most expensive product offered, which is correct. So essentially, you're going to be selecting two columns, maybe the name and the price, from either the products table or the categories table. And it might help, since we're asking for the most expensive product, it might help for you to order it in a certain way, and then even limit it if you just want to just one straight answer. Of course this is optional, but just to make it easier, and then you should be able to get your answer. So we're selecting two columns from either the category, the products table, and then we're going to order in a certain way to get our answer. Okay, so the answer you should have gotten was, I'm not going to say that because I don't pronounce it wrong, but essentially you need to select, since we're interested in the name and the price, we need to select the product name and the unit price from the products table. And if we order it by unit price in descending order and limit it to one result, we'll just get our answer straight up. So I'll run that query, and as you can see, wait, where's my price? Oh, here it is. Let me zoom out. Okay, yeah, the unit price is right here, 263.5. So there's that. All right, next question. Okay, data lady leading. I see you. This is a true or false question. So it's asking about the single most expensive product. Basically, which category does the expensive product come from? So because you're working with two different tables, you'll actually have to do a join here. So it's pretty much asking you, okay, so I need the product name and the price from the categories table that is joined with the products table. And the way I'm going to join these two tables is by a one related column. So if I explore both of our tables again, we can see which ones we have in common. So I see category ID is in both the products as well as the categories table. So that could be the code we use to match them. Category IDs in both tables. And again, we're looking for the product name and the price. I'm sorry, not the product name. We want the category name. My mistake. We're looking for the category name and then the unit price from there, from the two tables joined together. And then, of course, since we want the most expensive product, if we order in a certain way, it might help that to just come up first. The only bad thing about this is if you don't if you do limit it and you don't order in a certain way, then you'll just get the wrong answer. So that's why I didn't include the limit here. But you can also still limit it by one, as we did in the last one. So 9 more seconds. I hope this isn't going by too fast. I tried to time myself, but yeah. Okay, so the answer is false. And then the way we do that is we're selecting category name, unit price from the categories table that's joined with the products table on that category ID. And then we order it. Wait, what I do? Wait, categories. Hold on, how did I do this earlier? Hold on.
Snow, can you zoom in on the right screen? I actually can't see anything.
Okay. This is better?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what. Okay, so let me go over. Okay, so we actually see that the beverages category has the single most expensive product, and that was actually the beverage that was the answer of the last question. So you could have just kind of like assumed that was a beverage and got this, or you could have ran this query and actually saw that the beverages category has the most expensive product in it. Do we have any questions so far or anything? Let me look into the comments. Oh, thanks for that, for who tried to help me. I'm just not seeing it. But if we have no questions so far, I'm going to go ahead and go to the next question. Okay. So if someone's working with between a $50 and $100 budget, which products can you all recommend? So we're just working from one table this time, just the products table, and we're looking for the name and the price from the products table, where the price is between two increments. And there's actually two ways we can do this. We can do this using the between or the greater than, less than operators. So everyone, SQL is just a language, and just like the way I might construct a sentence is not the same way you might construct a sentence, but it still means the same thing. So this is just the way I chose to do it. You might get something different. But yeah, so there's two ways you can do this. And then since someone wants to buy this now, we need to also make sure that this product is not discontinued. We need to make sure we have it in stock. So, because we can't if we recommend a product that we don't have, then that's going to look kind of bad. So, if I go back to the export table and we see that discontinued column, 0 is false, 1 is true. So we want it to be false. We don't want it to be discontinued. So again, we need the name, the price, from the products table where the price is between $50 and $100. And we also have to make sure it's not discontinued. And then we should be able to get the answer. Okay. Cool. So the way that you do this, like I said, you can do it one or two ways. We can either do it using a greater than less than. So when we run it, we see carnivore tigers are in there. And then same thing if we do it this way. And then if you got one of the other answers, it's because you didn't make sure the product was stocked. So if I take out this discontinued statement right here, if I take that away from my where clause and I run it, you'll actually see this is between 50 and 100, but it's actually discontinued because if I were to say, and discontinued, equals true, then you'll see that's there. Okay, so that's how I got that one. Moving on to the next. True for our question, there are a total of 10 discontinued products. So here we're just doing some basic select from where, and then we're going to count a particular column. So since we're interested in the total number of products, let's just run this again. We know that the product ID is our, product ID is our primary key. So each product has its own product ID. So if we count the product IDs, then we know that's the number of products in this particular table. So we need to select the count of that column, and we're going to take it from, of course, we're working with our products table, and then we need to make sure that we are filtering it for discontinued products. So we want discontinued to be 1. We want it to be true. And you choose your answer. So it's true. Yes, there are a total of 10. If I go here, I select the count of the product ID from the products table where discontinued is 1. And then when I run that, I get 10. So that's true. All right. Next question. Double point. Which of the following categories offers a total of 12 products? So again, this is one where it's going to require us to use a join statement since we're working with 2 separate tables. And so what we need from this particular query is it's asking us for the category name. I'm sorry, the category name that offers 12 products. So we need to get the category name, and we also need to get the count of the product IDs. And it might help us to go ahead and alias this function as a different column, because otherwise, whenever you do your query, it's just going to name it count. And so if you want to like alias is it something else, so you know exactly what that is, it might be better to do that. And then we need to take it from the categories table that has been joined with the products table using that ID we talked about earlier. And then of course, since we want to group it by category, and then we can further filter it for that particular count that we're interested in. And this is one that could also be done a number of different ways. You can also run this as a subquery with that having clause to make sure you filter for that count of 12. You can do a subquery or a CT as well. But like I said, everyone writes their SQL statements a little different. So this is just the way that I did it. You don't have to do it the same way. But this is just kind of like a template for you to work with if you need help. So 10 more seconds. Okay, all of the answers are correct. Um, and then the way I did this one was I selected because we wanted the category name, we wanted the count of products, and then I just alias this as number of products. And then the categories table that was joined with the products table, again using that category ID, and then it's grouped by the category name that has that count of 12. So let's run this. And we see that these three all have 12 products: beverages, condiments, and seafood. Okay. Another double points. On average, the unit prices of products in the meat and poultry category are the highest. So this is kind of asking us to do the same thing we just did, except we are going to use the average function instead of the count function. So we still are interested in the category name, and then we want the average of the unit price instead of the count. And then, of course, like I said, it might be easier to just alias this so that that column doesn't just show up as average in your results window. I'm taking it from the categories and joint products, using that category ID, and then we're going to group it and then order it in a certain order just so we can immediately see which one is the highest. And yeah, I'm trying to think if can this one be done a different way. I'm looking. Yeah, so just gonna go ahead and pull it up right here. Both people have already answered. So like I said, we're taking the category name, the average of the unit price. We're aliasing it as the average unit price. We're taking it from the categories table, joined on the products table, using the category ID, grouping it by category name, and then ordering it by this right here that we made, using the alias, ordering it by that in descending order. So that way it's immediately at the top and we don't have to scroll through. And yeah, so then I'm gonna go ahead and run this query so we can see. Well, now I'm gonna run it. I had something highlighted. Okay, so now we can see that the meat and poultry category actually has the highest average unit prices at about $54, which that makes sense because I don't know if y'all been grocery shopping lately, but yeah, meat is high. Everything is high really, but meat is always high. So yeah. The next two are just basically going over what Evelyn kind of just went over. These are a little bit quicker. You should be able to answer them pretty quickly, especially if you're paying attention. So if I wanted to remove discontinued products completely from my products table, which statement would I use? Cool, yeah. So we'll just delete it. All right, and then last question. If I wanted to change a product status from discontinued, which statement would I use? So let's say I finally got something restocked in there and people have been asking for it. They've been like, when are you going to restock? I finally restocked, so I want to change that. Which one will I do? Okay, and that's update. All right, so that is it, guys. Thank you all for participating. I hope this was informed. I hope you guys found this fun, and I hope you were able to follow along. Shout out to Data Girl or
Thank
Data
you.
Lady. I'm sorry.
I
That is
appreciate
our
it.
winner for today, and our two JD Men and Kadisha. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pass it over back to Lex so she can close us out. And if there's any questions in the chat, I don't think I see any, but yeah, back to you, Lex.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Can you share your the Google slide? I don't have mine up, so I can wrap this up.
Evelyn, do you have it? I don't have it up either. I can pull it up real quick though. Let me grab it.
But regardless, I want to thank everyone for joining this session. I believe this is session 5 of SQL Saturdays. We broadcast SQL Saturdays every Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I just want to shout out to our moderators and to, of course, the instructors this week, Snow and Evelyn. You can follow them. We have our links, our social media handles. We have it here. You can follow me on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Twitter, AMG and Tech. You can find Monache Queen on Twitter. You can follow Evelyn on Twitter and LinkedIn, and Snow, Ayo Snow, on Twitter. All right, y'all. So I'll wrap this up. Thank you guys for joining us. We really appreciate you guys. Make sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and share it on all your social medias. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Bye. Enjoy the rest of your evening.